Hi everyone, welcome to another weekly tip from SHIFTLog. Hope you enjoyed our last week's tip where we took you through the criticality assessment template within SAP APM. Now this week we are going to go a step further into it by taking you through how a failure mode and effect analysis is performed. Now the failure mode and effect analysis is a process reliability engineers undertake by methodically going through failure modes and effects. Could be for one particular equipment or it could be number of different equipments pulled together based on the requirement and then finally coming up with recommendations. What APM does is supports that whole process from the inception all the way to the point of recommendations, approvals, and then finally to implementation as well. Let's jump into the system and see how it's done. I'm sure you're familiar with this by now. We're looking at APM homepage, and today we are going to look at asset reliability and engineering section of the screen. I'm going to click Manage Failure Mode and Effect Analysis Assessment, FMEA assessment, which takes me to a screen which has number of different FMEAs performed over the years for my organization. I'm going to select a particular FMEA performed for an extruder. Click open the assessment, gets me to the master record of the assessment, which has the description and all the administrative information like when it was performed, who it was performed by. I'm going to click Assessment tab, which takes me to the equipment and the details of the failure mode effect analysis. Start with listing out the failure mechanisms and list out all the failure effects as to what the output is from this failure mechanism. So there is increased maintenance cost, loss of productivity, and possible fire. Probably the last one is the most prominent one. And then we go on to causes for the failure modes listed, and these are the causes that needs to be addressed and mitigated. So faulty temperature control, inadequate cooling system. Those are the two listed out. Now, as mentioned at the beginning, these are the kind of causes that come out as a result of the assessment the reliability engineer carries out. Against each cause, you would see an occurrence score and a detection score listed. So occurrence score is how frequently this occurs or has the potential to occur. It runs from extremely remote to extremely high. Similarly, you have detection score as well, which talks about how easy to detect this. So if the detectability is low, that is a bigger problem to resolve. These scores combined provides an RPN, risk priority number, which has been calculated based on rule set. Both these causes have a RPNs calculated, and 196 is the higher one, which is for the faulty temperature control, and that's the one which this particular FMEA catches, and that's the one which actually gives a criticality to this FMEA and then drives the next set of actions. Below that, you have the severity of this issue. At the same time, at the bottom of the screen, recommendations from the reliability engineer. There is a proactive recommendation and there has been an improvement recommend as well. These recommendations could be anything, could be procedural changes, could be changes to strategy. If I click the top recommendation, it'll take me to the recommendation details. As you could see, the reliability engineer is given the opportunity to highlight the risk of not doing anything here. At the same time, the cost of implementing this recommendation, which forms the case for anyone to approve this. Looking at the failure data, you see that the same information that you have seen before, failure mechanisms, failure effects, and causes are represented in a pictorial manner. Going into final tab, which is the assignment, you see the particular equipment that is undergoing this failure mode and effect analysis. Its risk score is given from the criticality assessment, and the bottom you see the recommendations and what needs to be done to mitigate this risk. In this particular case, the reliability engineer has recommended a change to the strategy. As a result of that, there's been an introduction of a new maintenance strategy, which is a maintenance plan within SAP, a maintenance plan ending with 170, and then also brand new task list generated as the detailed work instructions as well. Now the beauty is you can create all these over here and then it automatically goes and syncs it into the backend. Now, every recommendation goes through approval process. So moment a reliability engineer come up with recommendation, they go to heads of engineering, head of maintenance for approval, then they are implemented. So that is where this implementation part comes in. In this particular case, it's a completely new strategy. Hope that has given you an insight as to how a failure mode and effect analysis is performed within APM. If you have any questions on that particular subject or anything else or any other SAP product, send them in. We'll definitely factor them into our future episodes. Thank you ever so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.